In the case here, Lido is so a liquid staking provider for the Ethereum blockchain. So you can stake your ETH and earn a yield by securing the network. Lending is a very big and large use cases where you can see Aave, which is a competitor of Morpho. Morpho is the blue, and Aave is like 30 billions of total deposit, which is massive. And you have so bridge assets from one chain to another, and obviously Dexes. I skip the other one. Dexes, like I think, like everyone knows about Uniswap. It's the largest Dex over there to trade crypto in a decentralized fashion. All right. By the way, I don't see any questions, so Solène,
No, we
feel
have
free to
time for
tell
the
me.
moment. Yeah, sure.
Okay, okay. Perfect. So, um, what about so DeFi? Well, we can compare DeFi about like the early internet and internet protocols, like a TCP, IP. So those are the protocols that are the foundation of the what you see, like websites, all the process. Anytime you do a request, a search on Google, it's sending an HTTP request, which is based on the open source and shared protocol. And this enabled the internet of today. So all LinkedIn, Instagram, Messenger, everything is based on an open source and immutable layer, which are like internet protocols. Morpho is kind of the same thing, but for on-chain loans. And it's not relying on, I mean, like products can be built on top of Morpho, which is the same way as HTTP and TCP/IP or Internet Protocol pouring website and internet that as we know. Morpho is kind of pouring on-chain loans for products that can be built on top. So Morpho, you can see Morpho as a sort of infrastructure where every liquidity can be deposited if you want to earn interest, and anyone that wants to draw a loan to finance whatever can do it on top of Morpho. And because it's like a fully immutable and open and accessible infrastructure, anyone can build on top, and there's no restriction, and you can build whatever you want. We'll see a few examples, but you can see any fintechs building saving account, for instance, on top of Morpho, or allow their users to borrow against that. You can see also BlackRock that can tokenize T-bills. So like treasury bills from the US that are tokenized on chain, and then you can borrow against that, borrow cash and like do the loop or do whatever you want with that. And you have also centralized exchange building product like saving account, borrowing product, and of course DeFi with Spark using Morpho as infrastructure to earn yield on their treasury. So any of those actors can build and do stuff with Morpho. So why on-chain and why Morpho? Um, so first, why on-chain is because basically, so previously I was talking about TradFi where everything is like you have silos and the liquidity is fragmented. Anyone is rebuilding the same kind of infrastructures with their few partners. The liquidity is not open. Not anyone can tap into that. While on the protocol deployed on chain on a public blockchain, anyone can access it. And the more liquidity you have, the more efficiency you get because the pool is bigger. then that means like for the same size of a loan, you have like a less impact on the rates, for instance. So overall, like just the rates and the execution price, etc., are better. Also, it's running like 24 hours over 24, 7 days a week. It's not shut down on weekends. You don't need someone else to agree on like your transactions to happen, etc. Everything, every verification is done on chain. It's instant. The settlement is like just a few seconds. So it's very, very powerful compared to like the 1 day settlement or even 7 days in some cases. And if you compare, look, I don't have the price, but if you do a country to country transfer, it can go to up to 10, 20, $30 minimum to enable that transfer, while you can pay just a few cents on the Ethereum L2s, for instance. Um, Also, like because you need just one protocol, one financial infrastructures as backend, and you can build like many products on top, pointing to the same instance. You get reduction of cost because not everyone needs to create their own backend. They don't need to run their own servers, to have their own infrastructure and security teams internally. They can just like you reuse what's already existing, and the cost is shared by everyone. Um, Morpho is like fully immutable. It has been audited multiple times, and what that does mean immutable is like the logic cannot change over time. So nobody like when you're interacting with Morpho, you know how it will behave and how it will like your transaction will be executed. So you don't fear about like a third party going rogue or whatever. Like you just need to trust the blockchain technology itself, and that's it. And also, I mean, the competition is happening in the open, so every trades are open. Everything is you can see on chain who is depositing what's the TVL of the protocol, which brings a lot of transparency versus the TradFi counterparts. So right now the state is that Morpho is one of the leading decentralized protocol. It's the second largest lending protocol with close to 5 billions of deposited assets. And Morpho Labs, so the entity that has built the Morpho protocol, we've raised like 70 mil in total, with top investors like Ribbit Capital and Andreessen Horowitz, which are like one of the best investors. The first in the fintech world, and the second in the tech industry. So a bit of history about Morpho. So we started in 2021. So we were students at university when we raised the first million. And then we started building Morpho. Those funds allow us to pay for audits, which is super critical, because basically right now, for instance, the current instance of Morpho is just 600 lines of code, but there's 5 billions of dollars on it. And because it's fully open source, fully transparent, anyone in the world can uh, have a view and check the code and try to find some vulnerabilities. So I'm pretty sure that you have seen some announcement on like protocols being hacked or whatever. Security is like the top priority for any protocol in the space. In 2022, we did a second round with A16Z and Variant. A few months after, we launched the first version of Morpho, which was called Optimizer. I pass on the technical details, but during bear market, we reached like 2 billions of deposits, which is a massive growth because The whole market was just plummeting, and Morpho was uh, getting traction, so which was like a very powerful. And in 2024, we secured the third round of 50 mil led by Repeat Capital. And now Morpho is over 5 billions, and we are on two networks, so mainly Ethereum and Base, and we have recently deployed on a dozen, but they have not been integrated in the Morpho front end yet. So here's a little chart of the growth of the latest version of Morpho. So yeah, as you can see, we are nearing the 5 billion. I'm not sure it's up to date, but you can find all those data on the Gmorpho dashboard. So if you type Gmorpho June dashboard, you should find it. Up. So a few example of what is like to use Morpho. So as I said, you can earn yield. That's one side, and there's the other side, which is the borrow side. So let's start with the earn side. So one way to access this yield is just to simply deposit through the interface. So right now on Morpho, you can like just go to the platform, select which asset you want to deposit into Morpho and earn yield on top. So you have like many assets like USDC, DAI, USDS, USDT, ETH, WBTC, whatever. You should find like the right asset you want to deposit. It's very simple. You have both on which you deposit your asset. So I'll come back to this. It's fully non-custodial. That means that you're only trusting immutable stack. You can withdraw at any moment. You're not locked. You own your coin, which is kind of the DeFi ethos and like a cryptocurrency ethos, I can say.
I have a question
Uh,
for you.
yep.
Like, just if you can explain to the audience, what is the over collateralized protocol and under
Yeah,
collateralized?
yeah. Yes, appreciating the borrower side. Um, so Morpho is over collateralized. What does it mean is uh, right now there's no notion of credit score. What is a credit score? It's like usually what is used for a bank to give you a loan. But when it gives you a loan, usually you don't give assets against. Like you just like go to the bank and you say, "Hey, I want 30K to fund the purchase of my car." And usually what they do is like they have a credit score and they will say, "Okay, it's here the money and it here will be the rate. It's 3%." Uh, in the DeFi world, it's quite difficult to have credit score. It's not there yet. Some people are building this, but you need a way to make sure that the people to which you're giving money will repay at some point, right? And you want them to have this incentive to repay you because then if it was not the case, nobody would lend money in that space. So the solution that has been found is to have over collateralized loans. And what that does it mean is if you want to borrow, let's say 100K, you need to deposit, let's say 150K. This can seem a bit dumb because like okay, so I need to lock 150K to borrow 100K. Why not just like not lock my fund and I won't be paying a loan or whatever. The reason is maybe you're bullish BTC or ETH or whatever. You don't want to sell your asset, but still you want to have cash to do like I don't know, purchase your coffee or whatever. So what you can do is instead of selling those ETH for Bitcoin, you just deposit them as collateral on Morpho, and then you borrow against that. And we say over collateralized because the collateral that you're depositing is must be higher than what you're borrowing. And In case your collateral value goes below a certain threshold, then it triggers like what we call a liquidation event. And what is a liquidation event? Is someone will repay your loan to protect lenders to make sure that they will be fine and that they will get back their fund. But um, so the liquidator repay your loan, but they will take the collateral plus a bonus. So let's say they repay the 100K, what they will seize 100K of the collateral plus a bonus, which is 5K. Why are there do we give them a bonus? This makes sure that there's an economic incentive for them to do that job, which is basically making sure that the market stay healthy for every parties involved. And usually, so this threshold will be like, I don't know, maybe it will be if you have a loan of 100K, the threshold will be 120K. So if your collateral value goes below that threshold, then you'll be liquidated. If it's above, then you're fine. Does it answer the question, Solène?
Yes, totally. Thanks for this great explanation. Someone asking a question, like if you are working with Spectra Finance team.
Yes. So I talk about those vaults and then I come back to the Spectra integration, for instance, because it's a great question and we'll see like it would be clear like how can we work with them, for instance. Um, so how it works on Morpho is you have this lending primitive on which you can create many markets. Those markets are isolated. And what is a market on Morpho? A market is a bunch of parameters. So you have the collateral asset that you deposit to be able to borrow. You have the loan asset that lenders will deposit so that borrowers can borrow. An oracle, which is used to price the collateral in the loan asset. An interest rate model. So an interest rate model is an algorithm that allows to compute how much interest borrowers should pay to lenders. And there's a collateral factor, which is like the threshold I was talking about, which determines like how much you can borrow against a given value of collateral. So that's the different risk parameters of a market. But you can have like many markets. So as a lender, you may wonder, okay, but let's say I want to deposit USDC, on which market should I do it? Like I don't know, I'm not a risk manager, etc. So on top of Morpho, you have vaults that can be deployed and created and managed by what we call risk creator. Those risk creator are teams of usually it's like risk managers that are used to do that, and they will run the vault and route liquidity. So a lender will deposit liquidity into a vault, like you can see on the right, and what they do is they will route that liquidity into different markets. And those markets can have like different risk. Usually, the higher the risk, the better the yield. So there is a trade-off here. And what a risk creator can do is it can create a vault that is tailored to a specific risk profile. So, for instance, you'll have vaults that are super risky, but like yielding a lot of interest to lenders, and other vaults that are like a very safe depositing liquidity into market that are just like a against like a blue chip market, blue chip assets, very safe. They're doing the risk management. So from a lender perspective, it's just like I deposit my liquidity and I forget it. And the risk creators are doing the risk management. And then you earn the yield from borrowers that are like borrowing on those different markets. So here you have example, those market, the lender is depositing if into at the end of the day, wrap as if market as die if, etc. On the Spectra is doing a fixed rate. lending and borrowing, I think. No, not sure borrowing. I may mix with another protocol, but anyway, they're offering fixed rate for their users, and usually how it works is they use existing vault that are earning variable rates, and that's why like Spectra is using Morpho, is they are using Morpho Vault as a variable rate source, and which then can be transformed into like a fixed rate thanks to their protocol. I won't go into the detail because I'm not a professional on their on their own on their protocol, but this is basically how they use Morpho as a yield source. And yeah, okay. There's a earn demo. Maybe I can do the demo at the end if we have time. But let's keep for now. So here we are on the borrower side. So the borrowers, as I said, Morpho, you have like many isolated markets on which you can borrow. You can create an infinite number of markets, and this is fine because they are all isolated. It does not increase the overall risk of the platform, which is a bit different from other platform on like Aave or Compound, where everything is mixed together. It's like it's like lending pools, so each time you add a new asset, you basically expose everyone to that risk. So the more asset you list into the platform, the riskier it becomes. While on Morpho, you can, like as I say, create an infinite number of markets, and it's all fine. Um, Having isolated markets also allows you to borrow at lower cost because, as I say, you don't face that increased risk. So you have like better rates. You can also leverage and borrow more for the same amount of collateral. The rates is per market, which so it adapts to that specific risk profile of that market, and there's no fee that is taken on the borrower rate. How does it works? So first, you need to provide collateral. So this is the overall collateralization side of thing where you need to provide the collateral asset. So if I take my example, let's say I want to deposit Rapid ETH to borrow USDC. Maybe I'll deposit 150K. I will be able to borrow 100K. I could go until like the max threshold, but then if there's a slight price variation of Rapid ETH, maybe I'd be liquidated. So I prefer to keep that buffer and not be liquidated. And then I can, once I've deposited my assets, I can borrow liquidity. And then I like usually the borrower side needs more active management because in case like your collateral is volatile, you need to check your positions and yeah, watch out for liquidations. And you can repay your debt at any moment. So it's like if there's no term on Morpho, you can just borrow, repay at any time. All right. So same. I skipped the demo, but we can come back later on. So one case study of what you can build on top of Morpho, which is not only scoped to DeFi, but here is an integration that is at the limit of the fintech world and DeFi. So this use case is a recent announcement that you may have seen, I don't know, which is Morpho BTC loans on Coinbase. So Coinbase recently has released their new product, which is on-chain loans through the main Coinbase app. For now, it's only available in the US. So sorry, like if you're in Europe, in South America, you can't access it yet, but that will come. And it's in the main Coinbase app. where you can like I mean trade tokens and cryptocurrencies in general. In the cash section, now you can borrow USDC against Bitcoin through Morpho, deployed on Base. So this is what we call the DeFi mullet, which is a meme where with someone with a mullet. And what why the mullet is because it's fintech in the front, so very nice UI, super simple UX, which is a bit different from DeFi in general, where it's a bit more complicated. Still, you usually it's like many nerds that are using DeFi, because it's not as convenient as like the Revolut of the world and their super nice UX interface. Here you have more biggest and first large-scale integration of a DeFi protocol and um, an exchange, but a fintech that is used by people that are not into the DeFi world. And so they are trusting Morpho to do this. And how does it work is there's a lot of things that Coinbase has developed to make this the UX super seamless. So BTC obviously is not on Ethereum chain, right? Usually it lies when you're a Coinbase user, it lies on Coinbase account. So what they have built is a way to seamlessly uh, move BTC from the like the centralized Coinbase account on chain on Base, which is an asset that is called CBBTC, which is some sort of a Coinbase wrapper. And there is a market, CBBTC USDC on Morpho, on which people can borrow from. And so in one click, it's using passkey from and the smart wallet from Coinbase, and in just one click, it's doing deposit of CBBTC on the chain, deposit as collateral, borrow USDC, and then the user is receiving USDC not only on chain but also in the Coinbase account, so that if you have the Coinbase credit card, like people can pay coffee with their USDC. So it's really bringing real world access and real world usage of DeFi into the real world. So which is super powerful.
More than powerful,
Uh,
yes. Congrats.
and so right now, I mean, it's Coinbase, which is a major step, and it's opening the door for like many such product on top of Morpho with other centralized exchange, but also fintechs. So you may have seen those logos like with Revolut, Robinhood, a bit earlier. And there's a lot of things to do with these actors, because what we think at Morpho is you really want to create that immutable, governance minimized, permissionless infrastructures. But obviously, not everyone wants to be in a self-custody mode or whatever. And so, if we really want to scale DeFi to the billions of users that exist into the planet, then you need to integrate fintech to the DeFi world. And Morpho is kind of like pioneering that, and we're pushing very hard to do that. So that's here. I don't know, maybe I can put that in the chat. But this is a demo of uh, yeah, sure. This is a demo of the where is it? I think I can't
Someone asks if we can share the slide after the
Yeah,
presentation.
yeah, sure.
Okay,
And here
we do it.
are the yeah, I can send them totally. And here are the socials, so Morpho Labs account and my Twitter account. So Morpho Labs and Merlin Égalité. Right. So if maybe I can try to share the video of the demo. So stopping to share. Is there any questions?
Yes, one from Ashley.
Is lending and staking the same? No, it's not the same. So staking, you're not lending to your asset to someone else. You're putting your asset, you're depositing them into like a protocol or I mean in a place where it won't move. And usually staking, it's in the name, you're putting your asset at stakes and usually to secure a network. So on Ethereum, for instance, you'll deposit your ETH and you'll run a node that is securing the network and making sure that all the transactions are done, perform well. But if, for instance, like you are not behaving the right way, then you'll be liquidate you'll get slashed, and this is why we say it's at stake, because it's at stake and you may lose it if you don't behave well. While lending is you have some assets, you don't need them, um so you'll lend them to another party in exchange for interest, and this party like will do like whatever it wants with that liquidity until it repays back the loan plus the interest. Is that clear? Oh, thank you, Evelyn. Perfect.
I think so. Probably on your side, could you do like a demo about Morpho itself?
So I have a video. I think it's better.
Yeah, yeah. So if we can pass the video.
Else I need to up. Let me share my screen again. Sorry. Là. Okay. And give me a few seconds more. Hop là. Can you see it?
Not yet. Uh, no.
Ah, you can see it.
No.
And now?
Ah, yes. Okay. All good.
Okay.
Nice.
So I skip this part and we'll see. Like I start with here. Up. So here's it's a landing page. So it's connecting to the page. So here you can see it has a position actually. Okay, $5. It's not a big position. So here it's like if you want to see your P&L or like I mean profit and loss, you can see everything from the dashboard. And here, usually once you have like a earn position, you can see the native APY, so what you're earning, and also the rewards that you can earn. So sometimes like we have projects that are like creating rewards program on top of Morpho. And so like we're distributing Morpho on our side, but there are also like a Moonwell, for instance, is like sending well rewards. Here on the bottom, you can see the list of vaults that exist. And here you can see the creator. So as I said, vaults are managed by risk creators that are doing the risk management and making sure that they are depositing liquidity into safe markets and reallocating that liquidity depending on market conditions. So usually will try to optimize the rates and yeah. And so here, like here you have the vault page. So if you click on the vault, you'll see the vault page. So how much total deposit they have, what is the interest rates, etc. And on the right, you can like select how much you want to deposit. So here you have JJ. So JJ is doing the video, is playing with the different thing like that you can do to have like here history of rates of a week, month, or 3 month. And for the transaction. So here you can see the market allocation. So when users will deposit their liquidity, it's depositing that liquidity into those markets. And this is why we call this market allocation. It's because the funds are allocated to all those markets. You can see that most of the liquidity here is deposited into the CBBTC USDC market, which is the one, by the way, that is used by Coinbase. And you have like many more analytics thing that you can see. So some people don't bother about that. They just want to deposit and that's it. But some really care about those statistics because I don't know, it creates they want to see how much they can trust the risk creators, how they have operated in the past. So for instance, here JJ is like depositing $1 and you can see that what will be the effect on your position, what will be the balance update, etc. So you have an overview here. And you can deposit into different vaults into the same transaction. So this is what he has done here. Now is using Rabi. So he's signing the transaction. Okay, I think he has rejected the transaction. I thought in this video he was doing the. Okay, so that was for the. Up, up. Uh, I can share the other one. Up. And here it's on the borrower side. Let me share my screen again.
I cut my camera because I'm in co-working space, but I'm afraid that we have an issue. That's fine.
Okay, so here on the borrower side, let me. So again, we have that rewards, etc. I think so. On the borrower side, when you click on borrow on the interface, you have a list of all the markets with some filters. So for instance, as collateral, you can select ETH, BTC, stables. As loan, you can do the same. You can also like you have some sort of a search bar on which you can like select your market. There are like dozens or even hundreds of markets depending on which network you are. And when you click on a market, you can have like a basic information again, like on the Vault and Earn side. You can see this is the CBBTC USDC market. You can borrow up to 86% of your collateral. So If you deposit 100K as collateral, you can borrow 86 K of USDC. And here you can see all the vaults that are depositing into that market. And let's move a little bit. So here you can see the instantaneous rates. I was talking about the interest rate model early on. So the interest rate model is basically you have the utilization of the market. What is the utilization is, for instance, if there's 100K of liquidity and those 100K are all borrowed, that means that the utilization is at 100%. If the utilization is 0%, that means like nobody's borrowing on that market. Usually the target is 90%. Uh, we've computed that with like I mean the protocol team that did the math. And usually when the utilization changes over time, the rates also adapt. So here is sliding, for instance, at 90%, maybe the rate is at 6%, but at 0%, the rate will be like 1.5. So the rate is usually reflecting what's the actual supply demand on a given market. And then you have like basic analytics, like who are suppliers on that market, etc. Now,
I
when you, yeah,
no, no, that's fine. I will ask you after.
okay. And then the process is to first supply collateral, then borrow. Oops, is like yeah. So if you want to borrow, you need to deposit some collateral. So here's putting like a 100 of one ETH and borrowing 5 USDC. And you can play with your position and you can see how far are you from being liquidated. And once you're fine with your position, what you can do is like just click on the review button. And then you'll be triggered to execute that transaction on Morpho. Um, So this is the same process. Like then after you review this into your wallet and you sign the transaction. Yep. What was your question, Solène?
Uh, there is already some question on the chat. I will ask after no reason.
What happened if I borrow USDC and deposit BTC if BTC price go down? Um, so this is coming back to the over collateralized side of thing, where usually you should have like a buffer to take into account those price drop in the market. So you'll need, let's say, let's take my very first example where if you want to borrow 100K, you need at least 120K, and this is the threshold below which you'll get liquidated. So obviously you won't deposit 121K of Bitcoin because it's too risky. Maybe you'll get liquidated just because tomorrow the Bitcoin does like -5%, which can happen at any moment. So what you'll do maybe is deposit 150K, 180K, something like that, to make sure that even if there's a price drop of 100 I don't know, 30%, 40%, you're still safe. So usually people take a margin to make sure they don't get liquidated, or others won't put such margin, but they will actively manage their position and maybe like repay their loan and I mean close their position in case the Bitcoin price like decreases too much. Does Morpho get a commission during refund or borrowed amount? No. Uh, or how does it make money? So there's a way is there's a fee that can be activated at the market level by by governance. Right now, it's not activated, and there's no real plan to activate it because the Morpho is mostly focused on growth right now. But and if it takes a fee, it should be very low, because in fact, right now the Morpho protocol is under a business license. That means that you can't really like fork the code and deploy the Morpho protocol. You need to get the license. But if the DAO switches on the fee, then the license becomes fully open source, and anyone will be able to deploy new instance of Morpho. This is something that we've decided at the very beginning. So all that to say that it's not activated yet, but it can be.
Okay, thank you. So yes, my question was more related to governance because I think it's something really important inside the DeFi protocol. So basically, which kind of decision can be voted with the Morpho governance as a user?
Right. So the fee switch that we were talking about is exactly something that could be discussed and voted by token holders. Um, Also, token holders can decide. Like recently, we had what we call Morpho grants, which were a way to fund projects and builders on top of Morpho with Morpho tokens. So Morpho token holders could decide on where to send the money and which project to fund. So that's another power. It's basically like treasury, some sort of like treasury management. Also at the Morpho protocol level, what the governance can do is list new type of interest rate model, new close factors, and also if the fee switch gets activated, who is receiving those that fee? So this is another thing that the users, the token holders can do.
Here, and just the last question, more about what's next for Morpho. What's the roadmap actually for the six next months? Let's
Right.
see.
So some are confidential, so I won't be able to tell you. But some of ours are uh, we are expanding onto new networks. So at the very beginning, we were only on Ethereum, and this is just like last year that we deployed on Base, and recently we deployed on a dozen of networks of L2s on top of Morpho. And the goal is to deploy and give access to any users on any L2s to the Morpho instance and on-chain loans, right? So we are working on this. There are also many front-end providers like building interface on top of Morpho to let users access to Morpho, which is a super cool thing because we don't need like on our side to support. It's costly to support a network, so they will do the work for instead of us. And so that's one thing. And also another thing is, as I said, like pushing for more integration and fintech integration of the DeFi space in general. And especially like with Morpho, we're working hard on that front, where we want to let users from the, I mean, real world users get access to DeFi and in a more efficient way of accessing financial products.
Thank you for that. Really like the concept of uh, going to the fintech side and not staying, especially just in crypto side, in DeFi space. And yeah, thank you very much for your presentation today about Morpho itself, how does it work, and so on. And so tomorrow, yes, we're gonna more explore the building stuff, integration side, and also the grant side. So probably. I think
Yeah.
it's something cool. And feel free to prepare any question you may have for tomorrow and so on. Don't hesitate. Like I mentioned, Merlin is here for that. So
Yeah, yeah. It's great if you can like, yeah, feel free to ask any questions.
nice. So let's
All
say
right.
see you tomorrow, or all good on your side?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Solan, and thanks everyone for joining us today. Have a great day.
Nice.
Bye bye.
I would
Cheers.
like to.